Mark Yole is a name synonymous with success in Tasmanian harness racing. The former Victorian made the move across Bass Strait and through hard work climbed to the top of the state's drivers list.
Mark Yole, and he's coming away in the Cup. Home he goes, Riverboat Jasper for a great win.
But sometimes the winners, the smile and even premierships can mask the pain. In the early stages of his career, Mark was suffering from undiagnosed depression and anxiety, but 8 years on, after treatment and family support, he's calling on the racing industry to do more for its participants and to support those in need.
Yeah, that's right, Greg. As we've seen, a lot of AFL or professional sports stars have been coming out and saying that they're suffering from it and been taking time off, and it's been well publicised. But I think it's going on a lot more in the racing industry especially, and I think it's about time we started doing something about it.
Depression and anxiety can be hard to recognise, especially for the person suffering from it. And Yole realised early on in his foray into harness racing that he was finding certain circumstances hard to cope with.
For me, it really sort of come out that I was suffering from depression early on in my career. I had left school and moved over here and had a lot of success, and then I started to feel the impact of race driving and success and that, and one night there at Devonport, things got a bit much for me and I abused a steward and ended up getting 6 months disqualification. Had no idea what was going on, and lots of people just told me that I had a really bad attitude, and I probably did a little bit, but I think there's a lot more going on under the surface.
Yole tried medication, but it didn't work for him, and while he managed to keep things under control for 4 years, things deteriorated again in 2015, and this forced him to take some time away from the sport.
I still battled with it a lot, and then in 2015 things really hit rock bottom. Started getting anxiety, panic attacks on race days. There was times where we'd go and get the horses ready with my brother Ben, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't handle it. I just froze. I had to go and sit down. I even had to go and lay down, and or I'd be at the races and I'd be going out. I can remember one night at Devonport, I was on 2 odds on favourites, and I just had to go and sit down in the corner for 5 minutes just because of the anxiety of it all. And I went out and won on both of them. So on the outside, it looked like everything was fine, but it was far from it. So yeah, it can really creep up on you. And I was, as I've said before, I was very lucky that my family was behind me and they'd experienced something like it. So yeah, from that point on, when that started happening, I had to take some time off. I had a month off completely in 2015, which was really hard because we were probably struggling financially, and took the month off, went and got some help and started to get on top of it.
According to Mark, the most important steps in the process were recognising the battle and understanding the enemy, and once he was able to do these, he was prepared for the fight.
Yeah, for sure. I think the biggest turning point for me was actually understanding what was going on. From a young kid and as I said, if my family hadn't been there, I don't know what would have happened because I wouldn't have known what was going on. It's something you can't really explain to people. You're standing there, but you just can't do what you need to do. You can't do it. But the understanding really helps, and even now, like, I still suffer at times with a bit of depression, usually in winter, but I know that it's coming on, and me and my wife, we sit down and we talk about it, and because I understand what's going on, and you've got to say to yourself it's okay too. Don't feel ashamed about it. So yeah, that was a big thing for me, just understanding what's happening and working towards getting over it.
The biggest fear for those that suffer with depression and anxiety is the way they will be treated by those who know them if they disclose they're suffering from the illness. And while Yole admits he was concerned initially, the feedback has been positive since he went public with his battle.
Yeah, really good. After the newspaper article came out, I was pretty overwhelmed with the messages and that I got. And then a good friend of mine, Cody Winnell, he posted it on the Harness Racing Australia page, and from that I even had people from WA and places like that, Queensland, sending me messages saying they're suffering from the same thing and they'd like to see something done about it in the industry because it's such a ruthless industry and there's not a lot of money in it, so you are always struggling. So yeah, it's been overwhelming, and definitely there's been a lot of support, not much negativity, to be honest. You're always going to have people that you can't have like you, but at the end of the day, don't worry about them. The ones that are caring and want the best for you, they'll support you no matter what.
Mark has his support network watching out for him, and he's looking forward to his next challenge, whatever that is. But most importantly, how is he doing now?
Yeah, great, actually. I'm doing really well. As I said, winter's coming up, so I am expecting, a little bit. But yeah, I'm lucky now. I've got myself with a lot of support. My wife's fantastic, my family, and we can always talk, go through things. I've got, a young child, another one on the way. So yeah, things are going really well, and driving's going well. But, I don't let that dictate my life, the driving anymore, which I used to. Now it's all about family, friends, and driving's a bonus.